All right, good afternoon. So honorary captain is Cole Kmet for this game. Excited about that. This week, we focused on with player and coach, challenging every coach and player, each individual, position group and unit, to improve their fundamentals, techniques, right? We did that, showed those in the team meeting today. And I thought that was really good. And so I have an injury update. Josh Blackwell was out for the game. Travis Homer is limited and questionable. And then we have Eddie, Jalen are also out for this particular game. Our guys are focused on Denver as we begin our 48-hour preparation for this football game. With that, I'll open up to questions.
With Jalen and Josh and Eddie out, looks like you guys have a couple rookies at cornerback, 2 second-year guys at safety. Where does this rank among youngest secondaries you've had over your career?
Probably one. Yeah, it's probably number one. But again, those guys are excited. They're ready, and we played a lot of young guys last year. And so I think those guys have talent. And I think they're good players. And I'm excited to see Smitty, and Tyreek in there full time. So it's going to be a good challenge for those guys. They got really good receivers, got really good speed at that position group. So it's going to be a good challenge.
Luke said yesterday with Nate that he felt he was ready to go. Where do you anticipate him starting this week?
You know what, Nate Davis?
Nate Davis.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yes, he's had a good week of practice, and we like where he is.
Is there a situation, I know Major League Baseball has the bereavement list. I don't think the NFL has something quite similar, but as he's going through pretty traumatic personal situation, was there ever any conversation about maybe putting him on NFI or giving him a chance to be away from football for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we just really communicated with him, and he communicated with us, and that was just what we did. We're just person to person. He used the resources in the building. And I know it's a difficult time, and that's what we did. We just open communication. That's how we handled it.
Matt, would you say that the team just needs a win, not to put too much on it, but just the weight of not having won a game this year?
Yeah, I mean, when you win, you feel great, right? And yes, that's I would say, yeah. I mean, it really does because we've been fighting for a long time. We've been doing this. And we got to do a great job of coming together. And that was my message for the team this week. It's about through adversity, you have to come together, and you have to do different, right? So in that our focus was different. We focused more on technique, more on fundamentals. We tried to highlight that like we do every week, but we really put an emphasis on it, and we've honed in our focus on that, our single focus, and the guys did a nice job with that. Now it's got to pay off in the game. We got to see it in the game. We got to see it come through, and we got to fight through the game to get that done.
When we were down in that tiny little room in Kansas City after the game, right away you said, big opportunity coming up for us. 2 games in 11 days.
Yep.
How important will this next week be toward the direction of your team, toward the attitude in the building, just toward the season?
Yeah, I just think it's, we take this one game at a time. And that's all you can do, and you can take it one play at a time. So this game is as important as the last one and the next one. So we got to have our singular focus on Denver, and of course we've had these quick turnarounds. If you've been in the league long enough, you know what they are. And again, it's in 5 days, and again, it's a great opportunity, like I said.
Last year we talked about the importance of the mini bye when you guys were able to reset a little bit. You're going to have a mini bye after that Commanders game. It would be a big difference between being 2-3 and tinkering and 0-5 and wondering whether you need to make wholesale changes, right?
Yeah, the mini bye is always good, because it's a really good way to, freshen up the players, because they've been through 5 games and, really take a good look, self-scout. But we do that every week. We do that. We're always self-scouting ourselves every single week. And yeah, it'll be a good break for the players to be able to take a little breath and then move on to the next 5.
Matt, Jaquan Brisker is not a captain, but I don't know if there's anybody who publicly embraces a leadership role like he does. Have you seen examples on the field, in the locker room, anywhere that you as a coach particularly appreciate about what he's done to emerge as a leader, even though he's not a captain?
Yeah, he leads himself first, and that's the first rule of leadership, and he's done a really good job with that. Especially being a young second-year player. I love his passion, I love his work ethic, and I love his intensity. You know, his intensity, you know, his focus in the meetings, his focus during the walkthroughs, and he really models that leadership. But he also steps up because he's a vocal guy. He's vocal. He'll step up and tell them, hey, this is where we're going. This is the energy we need to have. This is the focus we need to have. So you can see him stepping up in those moments, and that's what a good leader does. And he's done that.
Lou pointed out to about 7 or 8 plays yesterday he felt that were missed explosive plays against Kansas City, whether it was a non-sustained block, somebody ran the wrong route. What can coaches do in the moment when you can see things like that happening? Like, what's the responsibility of a coach in the moment when something like that happens? It's execution related, not necessarily coaching.
Yeah, just coach him up through the moment, you know, and then you could coach him up what the response of the other team's going to be. You know, so if they see a weakness there, they're going to come back to it, and you got to make sure that you make that correction during the time. Also, you can also see what when they're making plays off of a certain blitz, okay, or they made a play on offense. You can really help your player. Hey, what's coming next? What's around the corner based on what they've done so far and what they haven't done. So I think that's important to be able to coach those guys on the sideline. We've always done that, and it really helps players to execute in future plays.
And Tevin Jenkins eligible to come off IR after this game. Is he on track to be activated?
Yeah, we're excited where he is. We'll see. You know, it's obviously you know, they're working through that process, but we're excited where he is.
And with Kyler Gordon, with that hand injury, he's been able to do a bunch of stuff because it's a hand, right? In terms of
Conditioning and all that. Oh yeah, yeah. Our guys do a really good job with the conditioning levels of those guys. Even if it is something on their lower extremities, they still do a good job with that. But yeah, he's done a good job.
Is he on pace to return after 4 games?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it is. Everything's pointing in the right direction, but again, we'll see where it goes.
You brought the Hayes pistol with you, and you got tremendous buy-in from the players. How do you go about reinforcing that when the results might not be what you want?
Yeah, you just keep coaching it. You keep coaching it every single play. You coach it every single play in practice. Every rep in the game, and you just keep emphasizing it. You know, and you know, we saw efforts from players in the first game. It got better in the second game because we just pointed out, and we don't walk by a mistake, and make sure that you're pointing those things out and paying attention to the detail in every play.
Matt, what have been your impressions of how Russell Wilson has played so far this year?
Good. Yeah, he's played really well. You know, his QBR has been good. I think his rhythm and timing of the offense has been great. You know, he's a really good player, you know, and I thought he's played really well so far.
You can't control the fans, obviously, or maybe you don't want to, but there's so much angst out there. Like, how much would it mean, even when things have not gone perfect on Sunday, that you had a big back end behind you, even through the ups and downs of the game?
Yeah, I would just say this, that, you know, I understand the passion of the Chicago Bear fans, and you know, I understand the passion of our football team, you know, and we all want a victory, and I think it's important that we fight for 60 minutes to get that done, and you know, that's what I would say, you know, and it's all about the execution. You know, it's all about the execution, about us being able to fight and be determined and have the stamina to push through this adversity. And we're going to have to do it together. We're going to have to play complementary football. You know, you can't, you know, play non-complementary football. You got to be able to set field position. You got to be able to do a great job with the ball or taking the ball away. And it's important that we do offense, defense, and kicking together because we have to do this together.
And with Terrell Smith, what stood out for you on tape when you watched him against Tampa? Or excuse me, against Kansas City?
Who's this? Smitty?
Terrell Smith, yeah.
Yeah. You know, just his poise. I thought he did a really good job in there, you know, for a young guy. You know, there's a lot of learning experiences for those young rookies, but it wasn't too big for him. And I thought he played well, and I think he's going to continue to play well. You know, and if in your rookie DB, you know, as you know, they're going to come after you, and that's what they do. And he's up for the challenge, and I thought he played well.
Did you see David Montgomery's huge game last night? If so, any reaction to his big game?
I did not. I did not see it. I was busy. I didn't get out here until 10:30.
Matt, is your new corner you guys brought in this week, what's the book on him, and can he play inside for you?
Yeah, he could play. I really love his functional intelligence. He's picking up the scheme really well. You know, he's been in a couple of different spots, you know, which has helped him, you know, do different schemes. But we like where he is, you know, and he can play a couple of different spots, and that's really good for us right now.
With the emphasis of maybe trying to get the run game going this week, or even just going forward, is this an opportunity you think for EQ to get active, to be active this week, given his emphasis as a run blocker in the?
Yeah, we'll see where it is. There's definitely an opportunity there. We'll see where it is. We'll make those decisions here in the next, you know, few hours. And yeah, but we certainly like the way he practiced.
Is 10:30 a typical exit time for you? You doing overtime this week?
Yeah, a little overtime.
Is it a little overtime?
No, it's always that time. Normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
How have the guys handled the week? I know you said Monday, hey, you know, we're gonna work on details, we're gonna try and lock it down. What's the vibe you've got?
Good. Yeah, I love the look in their eye. They're determined. They're focused. They're doing it for each other. You know, they're focusing on their position group, playing their best game this week. And you kind of micro it down to that, to the individual, to the position group, and then it goes on to the unit. So they really bought into that, and I can see each group getting better. And I love the look in their eye.
How are you handling this? I mean, you gotta answer these questions every day. I'm sure yourself personally, you'd just love to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's where it is right now, and again, we got to execute and we got to get it done. And it's always about us coming together and us staying together. And really, what you do is you rely on the men in the room. Because we brought these guys in here because they have great hearts. They got a fighter's heart. They're great teammates, and we just got to keep battling.
Is there anything different body language wise that you wanna see from guys, even if things are not going according to plan? I know just late in the game, you saw a lot of guys, when offense was up, entire defense was sitting on the bench, vice versa against Kansas City. Is there anything that you tell them about, like, is that okay? Is that acceptable, or do you wanna see guys closer to sidelines?
No, I mean, I think that comes with execution. You execute better, there's gonna be great enthusiasm, and it's about each man doing their job and doing it at a high level and doing it with intensity. And when you have that, when you have good execution, you're gonna have, enthusiasm's gonna be right there with it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.